The goal of this assignment is to make a cool looking drawing program that you're looking at right now. Looks kind of like a kaleidoscope. So you can see as I move the cursor around the screen, the mouse is actually following the cursor and I get this really cool drawing pattern going on here. Pretty cool, right? So let's take a quick peek and I'll maybe give you some hints as to how you might get started. So what's going on in this program? Really, I'm just drawing 4 triangles. The 4 triangles that I am drawing are from a triangle at some xy value to a point reflected over the line y equals x. Don't worry, I'm going to have this written down with the project as well. So how do you get from some xy value to a point that's reflected over the line y equals x? Well, of course, if this point, I'm just picking some arbitrary point, but let's say the name of this point is the x value 150 and the y value 50, this point would be x and y switch, so it would be the x value 50 and the y value 150. Interesting. And then I'm drawing down to the origin 0, 0. So that's the first triangle that I'm drawing. And then I'm drawing another triangle, 1, 2, 3, which are these 2 points, right? These 2 points are these 2 points reflected over the y-axis. And you might remember from geometry how you reflect something over the y-axis. Of course, you just change the x value to negative, or the sign of the x value, I should say, right? So this point is the same as this point, except the x value has become negative. Same as this. This point is the same as this point, except the x value has become negative. And then I'm drawing another triangle in the third quadrant, which of course is this triangle reflected over the x-axis. And you know how to reflect something over the x-axis, you just change the sign of the y value. And then finally, this triangle, which you can just think of as your original triangle reflected over the x-axis, or I suppose you could think of it as this triangle reflected over the y-axis. All right, let's look at a teeny bit of code to help you get started. So here's a peek at the start of my code, and you can see on the right, I'm running it right now, as I move my cursor around, I'm drawing a line between my cursor, between the mouse X and mouse Y, and point 0, 0, right? That's the origin, and the color just keeps changing. Yeah, pretty cool, right? And then when I hit the space bar, it clears the screen like it says over here. So let me stop the code. And on the right, you can see what's going on. I'm hiding the sprite, so you couldn't see my sprite on the screen. I put the pen down. I'm setting an initial pen color. The pen thickness is 10, clearing the screen. And then forever, this is just the first 3 lines. You're going to have a bunch more stuff in this forever loop. So I'm changing the pen hue every loop through here. I'm starting by going to the point 0, 0, and then I'm drawing from that point up to the mouse pointer, right? I'm going to the x value mouse x and the y value mouse y. That's following the mouse pointer, just to be clear. So wherever the mouse pointer is, I continue to draw between 0, 0 and the mouse pointer. If I run it again, you can see exactly what's going on, right? I'm drawing between 0, 0 and the mouse pointer. Well, that's only a piece of the first triangle that you have to draw. Remember, you're drawing 4 triangles. So I'm going to some xy value, and then I have to go to some other xy value, which is this first xy value flipped. In other words, the x value becomes the y value, and the y value becomes the x value. Give that a little bit of thought. So it's going to involve maybe moving these mouse x and mouse y values around. Yeah, I think you get it. And then I'll draw back to the point 0, 0, and then I will go to some other xy value that may be the original mouse x or mouse y negated. So that's why I'm saying -1 times that. You're going to need a block that looks like this or a block that looks like this. So sometimes you're going to go to the -1 times the mouse x or -1 times the mouse y, and sometimes maybe even this will be -1 times a mouse y, and this will be -1 times a mouse x. So as I said, you're really drawing 4 triangles, and they're all going to be a matter of just switching around the mouse x and y, or -1 times the mouse x and y. I want you to give this a little bit of thought. I think you can figure out how to do it. Here's what the program looks like again when it runs, and you can see that it really is just 4 triangles. But as I move the mouse around, you can't see me moving the mouse, of course, but you can see that I'm pointing to a particular point on the screen, and you can see that it's reflected in all of the directions I talked about. Now, it gets pretty funny when I start making this point negative in terms of X or Y and start moving around. So it is pretty cool there, but you can see that it's really just four triangles that I'm drawing.